All right, so before we get back to your calls, I want to bring this up. And again, guys, this is a lot like the Sharon Moore thing. I don't know what your reaction will be. I don't know if you'll care. But Rico's going to read you a quote from a Big Ten coach. And I'm not going to lie to my audience. And it really bothered me. Rico, go ahead.
I know, because when I find these things, I think to myself, this is just going to send Mike to the moon. Nebraska head coach Matt Rule on transfer portal quarterbacks. He spoke about this today. Quote, make no mistake, a good quarterback in the portal costs $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million right now. So just so we're on the same page, right? Let's make sure we're all understanding what's happening. There are some teams that have $6 to $7 million players playing for them. Unquote.
What are we doing? See,
you have teams with payroll.
No, and look, I want to know from you, the people. And if you're a Michigan fan, I understand you're at the top of the mountain, you're winning. This is great, but this does impact you eventually. And look, maybe J.J. McCarthy's one of them. Like, for instance, Rico and I were sitting here and kibitzing. McCarthy's rated as the 5th best QB for the NFL draft. Let's say J.J. comes back. I mean, is that a $2 million player? And understand, that's not the school, guys. That's not the Big Ten TV money. That's $2 million of your money. Think about what it takes to fund these teams. And remember, I have no problem with players getting paid, but I had something different in mind. Remember when we talked about, what's the cash value of a scholarship? You know, you give a kid $50,000 a year. I mean, dude, $50,000 when I was 17 years old, I would have thought I was Scrooge McDuck. That would have been all the money in the world to me. The idea that there are teams with 6 or 7 seven-figure players, let me put it in context for you. Kenny, can you pull up what I had you pull up earlier, please? The salary slotting for the NFL draft. I want you to just think about this. Because before you tell me, well, Marvin Harrison's going to be the number 1 pick, so he deserves. Okay, you're right, but there's one Marvin Harrison.
Right.
Kenny.
And just before Kenny gets into the round that you're talking about, it was funny because the next quote that they were talking about is, he's going to make transfer quarterback right now. If somebody goes to MSU because they don't have any and they pay the $1 million or $1.5 million, it's going to be making more than Brock Purdy.
Noted. No slander. But for instance, all right, he's an anomaly as a 7th-round pick.
Right.
Kenny, Desmond Ridder is a starting quarterback in the NFL. He was a 2nd-round pick. Hendon Hooker, 3rd-round pick. Kenny, salary slotting for a 2nd-round pick.
1 second. This just took a number 2 on me.
All righty. Beep, bop, bop, boop, bop, boop. The point is,
I give you the number 32nd pick from this past draft. Their cap hit this year was $2.2 million. That was the 32nd pick. When you go all the way to the 63rd pick, that would be $1.1 million would be their cap hit.
So you have guys who may not even be drafted, but are going to make more than guys who are 2nd-round draft picks in the National Football League. Look, I will say it again for the people in the back. I'm not anti-player movement, and I'm not anti-player money. I'm not. But this is stupid. This is really dumb. And here, let me go further into the Clint Eastwood Gran Torino bag of tricks. I'm yelling at the sky. This isn't college football. This isn't. You want to give a kid a car? Cool. Bet, as you like to say. You want to pay a kid? Listen, pay $100,000. Maybe double the value of the scholarship. $100,000 when you're 18 years old? What, are you kidding me? It's Brewster's Millions. But when you have 7-figure plus payouts, guys making more money than guys who are in the National Football League as 2nd-round picks, I'm sorry. Look, I'm open about it. I'm willing to be made fun of. I would love to know your response to that. We don't ever need to go back to, why can't they just be happy with a scholarship? I'm not asking for that. But there needs to be something done, because you know what this isn't anymore? I will say this. Let's take the scandal aside. Your team, Michigan, Team 144, as you like to call them, they are one of the last vestiges of college football in this one regard. I actually think these dudes care about the school.
Oh, they do.
And care about each other.
Yeah, this is why I said JJ, I could easily see him saying, I'm coming back.
And my point would be, what is your reaction if you, the fans, got to pay $2 million to get him back? That's just like, that's not, I don't want the NFL light.
Well, because let me give you this.
Oh, no.
If you love the NFL, to put things in perspective, this season, this is according to Spot Track. This is just the base salary, not including incentives. Bryce Young. You know how much?
What, in the NFL?
Yeah.
What do you get? Like, was he making 7?
This year, just this year, $750,000.
Huh?
Not including incentives and things like that.
Oh, okay. So your base cap hit.
The base hit.
Yeah, the base hit.
Yeah, his total value is like 40.
CJ Stroud, $750. Yeah.
Now, again, all in, they're making much more than that. But Rico's point holds. I mean, Brock Purdy's the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. You got guys making 4X what he's making, 5X, 6X.
That's what I was going to mention, because you mentioned Desmond Ridder, third-round selection for the Falcons a couple years ago. In his career, he's made $2.7 million.
Right. And Matt Rule today said, you got guys, there's guys making it. Like, would I doubt for a second, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, would I doubt for a second LSU's paying Jaden Daniels $2 million? Nope. Not for a second. Especially not after being down there a couple weeks ago. The phrase, it just means more, it holds true. Yeah. But am I wrong to have an issue with it? No. You guys can tell me I am.
No, so think about this. Now, here's including all incentives. Baker Mayfield, 1.7.
Okay. It's like, and you know what? Look, if you're U of M, everything's in place, you're good. But think about, okay, JJ walks out the door. We want to go to the portal. Paying a guy $2 million as a college football player? Like, what? Now, you're Marvin Harrison. You're Caleb Williams. I've always understood it. I've always been okay with it. I mean, hell, SMU actually is doing something that I think is pretty awesome. Every player on their team makes $38,000 a year. Every player. Mm-hmm. Now, I know it's not communism and you have to treat everyone fairly, but not equally. The point I'm making is, when we're getting into this bidding war, December 4th is going to represent the end of college football for a lot of fans, because it's a spice market. We're treating quarterbacks like bags of oregano. It's ridiculous. I got to get a transfer portal quarterback and I got to bilk my fans for north of $1 million? Come on, bro. That's ridiculous.
Depending on what you want. What model car do you want? Do you want just that basic model, or do you want the deluxe played in the SEC model?
It's really hurting my ability to care. It does. And understand.
I think the reason why you still care, though, it's limited, because it's not a year-round sport, because you only get 13 weeks.
I'll tell you the reason I care. Next.
Oh, look
Got
at
him.
that. Look at that.
Bang!
It's like I'm back in college with Doug. The Karsh T.
Well, I was going to say, you didn't have me in a headlock. Did you ever beat Doug up in college?
I did not.
Just say
Doug
it.
up. I had him in tears once, but I didn't beat him up. No.
Did you ever take a chair to Doug's spine in college?
No, but I had Doug take a chair and throw it down and kick the door out and just storm out the room. Yes.
More on that next.